Yeah, it looks like we're on now. Sorry, it took a minute. Hi, it's Coach MK. We're going to go through 2 strength series. We're going to practice desk series number 5, aka Bootie Patootie. And then we're going to move directly into that damn squish, which for everyone doing 3 days at the fair, or basically if you're not doing 3 days at the fair, don't worry yet. Everyone else, you will see this in February, including Shara. Everyone else, this will come at you later, but for now, 3 days at the fair goes ahead to initiate replacing desk series number 4 with desk series number 5, which is Bootie Patootie, replacing Damnation in your rotation with that damn squish. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to start. If you have questions, feel free to throw them into the chat. I'll answer them as soon as I can. While I'm doing the exercises though, I can't see this very well, so you'll have to wait till I'm in between sets if you don't mind. Apologize for the inconvenience, but even if I had my computer out here, it would be really hard to do this while staring at a screen. Or rather, if you can do all that at the same time, you're probably doing it incorrectly. Yay, you! So let's go ahead for this first one because my shoulder is a little wonky today. I'm not going to use the weight on the twist pulls. I'm going to use this. For everyone else, want you using the weights, turning sideways in your chair, leaning back, feet up. And you're going to use, when we start, you're going to have the weights in both hands, twisting sideways. I'm not going to do that in this move because, as I discovered earlier, my shoulder is not quite up for it. Are you ready? Here we go. Before we begin, just a quick go over. When we lock our cage, we take a deep breath, we draw our elbows toward our waist, like we're going to tap our waist, go push arms, drawing our shoulder blades together. Then a big exhale, focusing on bringing, like you're trying to get the lower part of your rib cage to touch. So first we try to get our scapulas to touch at the bottom, then we try to get our rib cage to close at the bottom. That is locking and loading. You want to keep that good loaded position throughout the course of these exercises. So if you, every once in a while, when you exhale, do so loudly and focus on really knitting this part together. If you know you still have diastasis recti, this is going to help close it. If you reach down and you feel like a rounding there, be sure you exhale. If you see me touching myself right here, that is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for rounding so I can push it out, okay? Yeah. Got it. Here we go. Ready, set, 1, 2. Do not allow your left shoulder to roll forward, and try not during this twist to let your knees work their ways to the side. You want to stay planted as much as possible. All the rotation is coming from here, from your obliques and your lats. And you should feel it down in here as well. Every once in a while, do a kegel. Feel it drawing up into your ribs. Moving quickly to the next one. Don't let your butt touch the chair. Keep this fully loaded. Heels off the ground, Balancing on your toes. Don't let your knees touch. If your knees tend to touch, grab your squish ball and squeeze. 20 seconds. Whoops. What's next to be lift? Okay, whoop. Shake, reset. Be sure when you do these, you keep your shoulders forward, no curling back. You want your shoulders open, this in, and all of the motion coming from in between your shoulder blades. Like you're pressing your elbows, so your armpits into your waist. Seconds. Heart rate's at 130. Whew. We go. And the last one. Whew. Thighs are not having it. Lift, twist, twist, down. We want to keep your booty just off the chair. Seconds. Go 10. Oh. That is that. Pausing, moving the chair. Oh. Water. If you have questions, now's the time before we move into the next one. Lunge left side. Before I move into that damn squish, you remember my 3 days at the fair, people, you have the hamstring pull with a piece of paper, and your instruction was no need to pull further than an inch. An inch is plenty. It's super hard. All we're doing is recruiting all three of your hamstrings, making sure they come into play once we turn your booty on. We're replacing the piece of paper with the squish ball. And it's basically the same move. Want to find a little bit of stability with your toe on the ground. Lifting up. Now, if this feels easy, again, it's not meant to be a super duper challenge. This is a strength thing. So I wanted you doing that 1 inch pull for a minute. With this, first we want to get here, find a balance, and hold for a minute. Make sure when you do that this left glute is turned on and that you're not hyperextending your back. We want your spine touching your floor, your deltoids touching the floor. You can press your forearms in for balance, but notice when you do it, when you press your forearms down, your shoulders tend to come up. We don't want that. We want to be locked, loaded, flat right there with this together. Lift and hold. Eventually, we're going to move it back and forth. Again, just 1 inch. But for now, practice just getting here and holding it without your booty dropping, right? Because once your hips kind of fall, whoop, the temptation when you lift 1 foot is for this hip to drop as you get tired. We don't want that. We want it to rise. Okay? Any questions on that one? Again, do let me know. It doesn't hurt very much, but it's one of those that sneaks up on you fairly quickly. All right, so moving onward. I'm not going to do it today because my hamstrings don't have it. And I'm not doing 3 days at the fair, so I can have a day where my hamstrings are tired. All right, we're going, kicking straight into that damn squish. Number 1 is the lunge lifts. Whoop. Here we go. Again, in doing this, the temptation is to let this hip come forward. Don't let that happen. Watch this the whole time. 30 seconds. I would rather you do this and really work here than say that's too easy and pick up a weight. Really focus on keeping this loaded. 4, 3, 2, 1. I am doing a minute on each side here. Feel free to do 30 seconds on each side if you find this one challenging at the beginning. Oh, muscles are sore. If you follow me on Strava, you see I've been running again. Yay! And doing a lot to attack my quads, because now that I'm getting my booty back, yay, my quads are not there yet. Boy, this really gets this quad right here. Oh, okay. Straight into the pikes. Again, drawing those armpits towards your waist. This is not an ab workout. Sorry, this is not a leg workout. That initiation backward, it should be coming from your abs. If it isn't, move a little further out. Quick pause to tell you, if you do this and you don't feel it right here, hardcore, at the top part, right under your rib cage, in this section, then your legs are doing the work. And I want you to feel like your abs, once you're pressing your armpits towards your waist, that motion is initiated from there. So it's effectively a curl or a teaser if we were doing the hundreds. It's the same position, so make sure you feel it, and if you don't, We'll turn it over, we'll flip for a bit, try to find that feeling, get back up and do it again. It's an important move. Okay, C curve. Ooh, the C curve series. Here we go. Remember, as we get, don't want that curve in your spine, sitting up, kind of looking at the seam between the wall and the ceiling. We don't want to be looking too far forward. If you can see your belly button, that's fine, but we don't want your shoulders rolling this far forward. We really want to keep them aligned. And when you're looking at your belly button, the temptation is for the shoulders to roll forward. You should be able to keep an orange underneath your chin. Starting with flies. Again, you should not feel this in your traps. You feel this right there, real good. And right here at the top. Shake it out a bit. V's. Again, all this motion feels like it's originating right here, and then you're crunching right into that. Julie, if you're watching, let me know if you feel it. Susan, you too. Again, if you feel this in your neck, stop and take a break. Put the weight down or get a lighter weight. There's no shame in doing it. There's only shame in needing to and not doing it. Another twist. This is like a Russian twist with intention. Really focus on keeping that down. Five. Oh. There you go. That is both of the strength circuits. Like I said, if I wasn't already toast from today and yesterday, I would work on that hamstring balancing with you. Practice it. We want to aim for starting 1 foot on the ground, 30 seconds with on each leg, working our way up to 1 minute each. Take your time. I don't expect anyone to be up to 1 minute raising 1 foot off the ground or trying for the back and forth pull until after Julie has done Rocky Raccoon. So if you get there sooner, it's not necessarily better, especially if you're doing it incorrectly and we're not recruiting the muscles we need to recruit. What needs to happen there, and this is what matters, it's not getting there faster, it's getting what we need from the move. And that is locking meaning pressing your shoulders to the ground, loading, Drawing that navel towards your spine. Tighten up that left glute. Lift. Find your balance. And hold it. And if this is all you do, making sure you're pressing that ball into the ground with your left foot as though you were getting ready to lift your right, that's fine. If that's all we can do right now, that's all you need to get. Focus on keeping this down. Knit it together and tight. We want to do that, curling your spine on the way down. Don't drop straight down. Then going to the other side. Listening to your body is the most advanced thing you can do. Don't miss the opportunity here. Right glute totally tight. Don't let it go into your neck. If you find that happening, focus on opening your collar. Keeping that tight again. If you feel it going into your lower back, stretch your leg out a little bit and tighten that up. Then tighten that glute. Because your glute and your oblique should be doing all the work here. And then roll down. There you go. You're coached, you're loved. I was asking the question. Hey, coach. Welcome back, Remy. How are you doing? Sorry, this was the strength circuit for my 3 days at the fair, people. Feel free to do it. All of this still applies for dudes. Diastasis recti is when these muscles get separated. It's super common in women that have had babies, but it happens in dudes too, especially dudes that have gone to too much weight too quickly. It causes the muscles to separate and act independently, which is never a good thing. So, because you know you need to stand up straight and like not get hernias and stuff. So, was there anything you needed before I go hang with the children? It's movie night. We got the Smurfs, part 3. It's a big deal around here. Okay, yay. Well, if no one's coming, or sorry, if no one's coming at me with questions, know that the next iteration of this is going to have us rising and falling with the weights while keeping that knitted together. So focus on this now, because especially for the women, the postpartum women, this is going to get a lot more high stakes. By the time we get to lifting and lowering with something in our hands, any small problems are going to become big problems really quickly. So again, this is an opportunity before we move to the desk series number 6. And this is a 15-part series, so we're at 6 out of 15. Going to be doing a lot more with the squish ball, putting it in far more interesting places, all to fire up the glutes, the obliques, and the lats simultaneously. Especially for those of you that will be going from 3 days at the fair to the 100-mile race in July. We need to get this locked, loaded, and really, really tight, because you can get away with not wearing a Nathan or a backpack at 3 days at the fair. I'm pretty sure Beth Brady's going to have her espresso machine. It's going to be the greatest ultra you'll ever do, and you'll appreciate the flexibility of it when we get to Vermont in July and you see how tight the rules are about assistance in between aid stations and how there just isn't any. So, which means you're going to have to carry all the water you expect to drink and just about all the food you expect to eat. It's okay. I'm working it out so that I can be there with you. Just understand that everything I ask you to do now has an absolute purpose towards making sure that you are functional later, and I will always prioritize that over power, the sort of power that we would need to do for you to get faster. I would rather make you unbreakable and strong, find all the weak points and fortify those before I worry about faster. Because if the things that we would need to do to make you faster are going to get you injured if we do them without fortifying you first. And fortification can take a really long time. So, hey, 100K, sorry, let's not get crazy. I think we've already gotten crazy, Julie. Crazy has left, the crazy train has left the station. So, let's not get crazy. It's funny, like that hasn't already happened. All right, On that note, I'm going to go watch the Smurfs movie. Julie, did you get that hamstring move? It's kind of important. If you feel, because you've got a race sooner than everybody else does, so if you feel that in a bad way, let me know immediately and we'll talk it out tomorrow. I'm going to make a concerted effort. I'm moving the studio upstairs so that I can do this during the day tomorrow and not wake the baby. So, yeah. Let me know about that hamstring move. It should be okay, but again, we are too close to the race. We are too close to Rocky Raccoon we don't mess with hamstrings. Any small tweaks from this, we're not getting the benefit we need. I could be like, we got what we needed from pulling that paper back and forth. That could be okay. If we can do a little bit of this, it's better, but only if you don't get hurt. Remember, rule number one is just don't get injured. That's the goal with training. Training does no good whatsoever. Yeah, Julie. Sorry, Julie's here in the room. She's one of my ultra runners that is going to be doing three 50-mile races. Yeah, well, sorry, 2 50-mile races and a 50K, which is actually a 63-mile race before my 41st birthday. So you can call her. She's Miss Julie to you. Actually, she's kind of a badass. I know, right? The raccoon. Rocky Raccoon is good stuff. Go look it up. The women I train dudes too. It just so happens for this event, it's all women. And the women here are just unbelievable badasses. I'm like, you're doing what? It actually, I would disagree. Running doesn't have to be bad for your knees if you do it correctly, and make sure that you've got the strength you need before you go out to do the really crazy stuff. I've been training them for well over a year to get to this point. So yeah, running 3 ultras in a year untrained is a terrible idea. Doing it carefully under the supervision of a trained professional. I mean, there are other ways you could spend your time, but why would you? They all involve the Smurfs movie. Yeah, I'm here. Thank you. I appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. But I'm here to make sure that they are careful. I like to think of my primary job as corralling the crazy. My job is, as coach, is just having the biggest, prettiest lasso and hoping they let me catch them. There you go. Oh, you were kind. You were kind. We'll see how bad I am at the end of this year if I'm actually back after really where I want to be to run New York. So we'll see. Okay, on that note, guys, I will see you tomorrow. You're coached. You are loved. I do love you. I'm going to go watch the Smurfs movie with my kids. Good night.